Now, while teleportation doesn't exist at the time, teleporters have become a staple of science fiction, ever since 1877 in fact. They are often used to transport people or objects across vast distances almost instantly, which would be extremely convenient in our modern world. You could teleport to school, or to work, or on holiday, or even to other planets or stars, which would be fun. However, I will be making the case that they harbour a terrifying hidden secret, and we really might not want them that much. But first, we need to break down how a teleporter will work. So, the subject that we want to transport enters one end of the system. It is scanned down to the atom exactly, and that scanned information is sent to the other teleporter, where it is used to construct the object again. The actual atoms of the original object aren't sent, as it would be a lot slower and harder to rebuild at the other end, and also transport. Anyway, from the outside, this seems harmless. Thing goes in, thing comes out at the other end. But what happens to the original first thing that enters the system? In the system I just described, nothing. It just sits there, and the atoms aren't actually sent anywhere. It's just scanned, and you've basically replicated it somewhere else. Brilliant. So it's a cloning machine, basically. It's a long-distance cloning machine. It only sends a copy somewhere else. So, to avoid this, the original is dismantled, deleted, or destroyed. If there's a person, that means death. You die, or do you? It's a little bit more complicated than that. But first, we're going to talk about a boat. And yes, I know, life and death, blah 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 blah, it's extremely boring. This is an important boat. Say you have a wooden boat. Now you mend the boat, taking out a plank and replacing it with a new one. Still the same boat. Now repeat. Same boat. What happens when all of the original planks, every single one, has been replaced one by one, so they are all new? Is it still the same boat? I don't know. This is the ship of Theseus thought experiment, or the Theseus paradox, but we can relate this back to our teleportation topic that I was talking about before I got distracted by boats. You often hear the fact that virtually all of your atoms in your body are replaced every few years, but you, as a consciousness, as a thinking personality, have managed to exist for longer than that, ever since your birth in fact. This means that the individual atoms that make you up aren't specifically needed. Just that type of atom in that arrangement will do to support you and mean that you don't die. This suggests that you aren't your atoms. You are just the arrangement of those atoms. Or there's like a separate thing, like a soul or something, but that's conjecture. Anyway, with our teleportation situation, the Theseus paradox is just happening to your body, to every atom, all at once. They're all being replaced at the same time. Like the question of whether it's still the same boat, is it still the same person? If it is the same person, if you are just the arrangement of those atoms and not the specific atoms, then since the arrangement has been replicated exactly, your consciousness might be transferred, and you might not die. But which one is it? Will you be transferred or not? Will you die, or will you live? I don't know. Maybe. Either you exit the other end, as you and your consciousness has actually been teleported, in which case well done, or you die and an exact copy comes out as you. These are the two possibilities. In both scenarios, a person comes out the other end with the exact memories and personality as the person that went in. The exiting person would claim that you don't die, since they didn't experience death. But this would be true in both scenarios, as either the original dies, not the copy, so the copy didn't endure death, or no one dies. You couldn't trust them. Their experience can tell you nothing about the scenario. From an outside perspective, watching the entrance/exit, there is no differences between the scenarios, so ultimately it is impossible to tell which scenario is taking place, and ultimately whether you live or you die when you use these machines. So, here comes the question. You, dear viewer, live in a world where teleportation exists, but you've never used it. Say I've made no errors in my thinking/research, and ultimately you might die when you use these machines. Write down in the comments, if you want, would you take that chance? Or would you just endure a longer journey to work, or a longer journey to a holiday, or another planet, or another solar system? Which can take years and years and years. Write it down. In any case, I've made you doubt this seemingly sleek and futuristic technology. And I've made you think, which is always good. I've been Zepherus, and thank you, the current version of you, for watching.